Welcome back. I would sing the Trogdor theme song, but I can't because my head is full of nothing but mucus. So we're gonna spare everybody the unfortunate realities of me even bothering to attempt to do that. So anyway, how do you draw a Trogdor, right? You start with an S, and then a more different S. You give it a little triangle head. You give it some angry eyes. You give it some wings, and then you give it some legs, and you give it like a little V here, and then a couple of beefy little arms, right? Like something like that, if I remember correctly. That doesn't look too good with that arm coming out of the side of his, the back of his neck there. Well, we'll start again. I hope people understand what exactly I just did there. If not, you need to rewatch that episode. Okay, let's try again. I think I just heard my rabbits spill over their food dish in the background. So if you heard that in the recording, that's what that was. Okay, so S, different looking S. So we'll do his legs, and then give him the consummate V's for the spikes, and then the back. And yeah, what I did, if you don't remember, in that episode, it's like he's like trying to teach everybody how to draw, and he starts by drawing a really shitty looking dragon, and makes fun of it basically, and then he draws actual Trogdor here. If I wanted to, I could try to find Strong Sad's version of Trogdor that's all good looking and see if I could do that, but it's a little bit easier to just stick with the Trogdor that everyone knows and loves. So it's something like this. And we'll give him his spiky little teeth. And he's got his eyes like that. And he's breathing his fire. And then we give him some majesty lines. Cool. So there's Trogdor the Burninator. Felt like doing that one. And we'll fire this one off real quick. And if you were a little bit disappointed, you're like, oh, I kind of wanted a little bit more Trogdor. We're gonna do a Trogdor V2 here. I just wanted to power out like a quick little reference. So now that we've done that, let's do Trogdor for real. So gonna start with just a solid black velvet background. Maybe okay, so I can't really do blue. What's the... Wow, I really don't get a whole lot in terms of dark colors. Okay, we'll just we'll stick with black for the background, I guess. That'll look about as decent as possible. I would like to have done... Yeah, I just don't really have things that are quite dark enough for my purposes, but that's okay. No. Okay, here's what we'll do instead. So we'll do blue. And we're gonna do another outdoorsy scene, I think. Let's see, $4.75. I guess I can sell that. I didn't think that would fetch any money, but I guess I was wrong. So we're gonna let's see. I want to save my green because Trogdor is gonna be green, of course. So I have to figure out how I'm gonna do the ground. I'm gonna do it in brown because mud. And most of the shit in the Trogdor universe was, most of, like, what was it called? Like, Peasantville or whatever? Most of it is, like, really, really quite awful. Okay, so we'll do... This blue is way too dark, so I'm actually gonna lighten it up. The blue is very, very saturated and not actually like what the sky you know, really looks like. That was the wrong color. That was the dark red, not the dark brown. So we'll do that. Add in some fluffiness to the sky over here. I wonder how well I can... I wonder how good of clouds I can make. With these two colors, yeah, I guess that's probably about the best I can do. It's just something like that. Not exactly a billowing Bob Ross-esque landscape of like fluffy clouds that everyone's like, oh, that's so wonderful looking. Maybe if I thin this out a little bit, I can do a little bit more. We'll stick to something like that, roughly. Maybe put in just a little bit of more. Yeah, okay, that's okay. That works out well enough for my taste. Let's add in that and that. Okay. Oh, I know what I can do with this. Awesome. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but we're gonna have this be like coming around like so, and we're gonna add in some black as well, and we're gonna have ourselves our very own thatch roof cottages. So we'll throw in some yellow like that. That's already actually weirdly like close to where it needs to be. Add in some shading on the thatch roof cottage. Add in a little bit of a highlight right there. Because no matter what, stuff is always going to have like dimensionality to it, even if it's supposed to be like very, very flat and cartoony. You can do a lot just by adding in little hints of shading and highlights, and just, you know, making your stuff have like a real physicality to it. Let's throw in something like that. Add in the bulk of the thatch roof cottage, and all you really need to do to make something look good is just define like your super basic shapes. So that already has like a ton of cylindrical feelings to it already. Cylindrical feelings to it? That's not what I meant to say. But I'm picturing cylindrical feelings as like emotions, and that's stupid. So I'm gonna get off of this topic as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, you can get actually really far with what you're drawing with just the most basic of hinting at things. I mean, I'm not gonna suggest that I am a master or that this is this is the best example of it ever, but I like to think that I can at least, even in these very doofy drawings, convey like some actual like artistic principles. Let's add in a doorknob like so, and we'll add in like a knocker as well. There we are. We can start to flesh out a couple of bricks. So we'll do just like a couple like here and there. You can, for brick stuff, you can actually just imply the physicality by only drawing in a couple of bricks and then just erasing out things. And you really want to do that with the darker parts. So, because that's where your contrast is going to be higher. Is in areas like on the well, your contrast is actually going to be higher where the light is hitting like this. So I should be careful of what I say, but you can make stuff look pretty bricky. That's all I'm trying to say. With just a handful of bricks, you don't need to draw every single last one to get the actual effect across. So we'll throw in just a little bit like that, and a little bit like that, and lastly, I used to do something like this, and we need to add in probably the end of this brick up here to really sell this effect as good as I possibly can. And we need to start adding in just a touch of little highlights here and there on these bricks on the left side. Excuse me. That will more or less get across the main point of this thatch roof cottage here. Also want to take some time to thin out the dark lines over here. Okay, so that looks pretty decent. I'm actually probably gonna also just for contrast's sake add in some just a little bit of like black line around the door frame, make it real thin. Okay, and that looks more or less passable for my purposes. I mean, it's a thatch roof. It's a doodle of a thatch roof cottage. I don't need to like actually like painstakingly labor over this, but it's working pretty well. So I'm actually kind of really happy with how it looks so far. We'll add in some cobblestones that lead up to it because it's got to be nice and inviting feeling. And we'll add in the bottoms of the cobblestones like such. And a third one down here. Okay, very nice. Let's add in front of the house something that kind of looks like a nice inviting dirt path as well. So this looks like a road that's been fairly trodden, and obviously because I did the background after I did the foreground, I have to redo the things that I just did. So always you can save yourself a ton of time if you think things through and you do your backgrounds before you do your foregrounds. But I always forget to do that, and then I give myself a ton more work and end up wasting a lot of time when I'm making my actual pieces. Of course, I usually have a little bit more of an idea of what I want to go for when I'm making things, as opposed to these very ad hoc kind of just random doodads here. Let's add in a couple of happy little bushes. I also need to, since I added in the thatch roof cottage, you see on the left here, it's, the ground is like kind of wrong because it doesn't line up exactly with what we want out of the right side. So that's much closer to being a straight line there. And I can also equalize this a little bit by pulling this down to the left. And that more or less gets across what I want to go for, and we'll smooth that out on that side for right now, just to make it a little bit more believable of like, yep, that's like a hill and some dirt and stuff. Let's go back to adding in these bushes. We'll add in on the bottom here. It's a little bit of shading and some highlights like so. Cool. And we need to add in the trunks of these bushes, and we'll give them some delicious red berries. Hell yeah. They look like stupid little Christmas trees. Alright. Now we need to make this be on fire. And to make something be on fire, I need to remember if fire is like red to yellow or yellow to red. And I don't recall off the top of my mind which one it is. I think it is... I think that the red is on the top and yellow is on the bottom. But we have thatch roof cottage, which is already yellow. So I'm going to do it red on the bottom and yellow on the top. So that's I don't believe it's correct, but I also don't recall off the top of my head. So we'll get like a nice little plumy bit like that of fire, and we'll do yellow, yellowish orange up here. And then yellow towards the top. And we'll need to add in a little bit more to the body to the fire here. We'll add in some stuff like that. Need to thin it out towards the top a little bit. Okay, that looks like ass. Looks absolutely horrible. But yeah, we could probably try to do a little bit better than that. We need to add in... I'm actually not very good at drawing fire, even when I'm attempting it very seriously. It's something I need to actually study. There's a couple things that you draw very, very common if you're like all the time if you're like a real artist. And those are things like bird wings and fire and stuff like that. And I am really, really, really shit at drawing either of those things. Let's have the smoke kind of coming out more from the fire itself here. And we want to add in just a couple little like ashy stuff flying off there. Let's do that. And let's add in a couple cobblestones creeping up. Cool. And then we need, in our corner here, we need our main hero. We need Trogdor the Burninator. So we'll do, in green, we'll do this. And we'll do this. And I don't have enough room to draw on his beefy arm. So that's kind of a shame. Let's see, can I... Damn it. Can I reframe this so that we get a Trog arm in there? We're gonna... Yeah, we gotta do that. So we're gonna probably move everything over to this side. Just block out like that a little bit. We'll do this. Something like that. Okay. And we need to add in his nostrils, like such. You can add in a little bit of black on the bottom here. You'll notice that even though that's just black, because I put it next to some green, it actually looks a lot greener than it is. Colors tend to behave like that. They're very, very dependent on the things that they're nearby. Alright, let's see. Trogdor's eyes are above his head. So we'll do like this. I don't want to draw over the thatch roof cottage too much because I'm weirdly proud of how that turned out. I don't think I really have any claim to feel any pride in it or whatever, but I'm gonna let myself have it. Okay, let's add in his mouth itself, as that would probably be better served if we made it just like pure black. And then drew in some sharp little fangs. So we'll do it that way. Is that the right color? That is the right color. Okay, and we'll add in a jaw, like a little defined jawline here. Huh, that kind of makes him look like a fat ass. Kinda. It's okay though. Like it kind of looks like he's got like a puffy face or something. So we'll do that, and then we need to add in his actual like body. So we'll come back over here. Yeah, it's there we are. There we are. That's looking more like actually what I was going for. He kind of looks like he needs to shave, right? Like he kind of looks like he's got like that 5 o'clock shadow thing going on. Okay, let's add in a couple little highlights here and there. Just boop, boop, boop. Little fanglings. Yeah, he kind of looks like, God, Barney, not Barney, Fred Flintstone a little bit with the, with like a, it looks like he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. For whatever reason, that's immediately what I can think of. Okay, let's add in some of these shadow, or highlights here. Let's do that. There we go. And let's give him his beefy ass arm coming out of the back of his body. So we'll do this, and boop. Should I give him a black highlight around it? Nah, that looks like shit. So we'll just we'll stick with brown highlights around his arm. Oh, it's got to be this color because the background is a certain shade of brown already. We'll do that, and we'll do that for the interior color, and just add in a hint of his little elbow right there, and a hint of his forearm as well. There we go. And he's got wings. Let's see, what color should the wings be? I guess we can make them. I'll sketch them in for right now, and then see how I feel about it. I guess they should probably be this shade. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do this shade of green on his little winglings. And then this shade for the structure of the winglings. And we'll give him his little like claw thing. And that looks Trogdor-esque enough. Excuse me. Last but not least, we need to give him consummate V's for scales up and down his neck there. Probably want to differentiate the top of his head from the neck, and we need to give him a splash of highlight. There we go. And if I wanted to, I could make it. There we go. That looks pretty good. Nah, tongue looks stupid. We won't do the tongue. Let's see. What am I missing? What am I missing? Something feels like it's not quite there. As part of it is that this composition actually sucks because we have Trogdor in the foreground and like this burning thatch roof cottage, and there's not really there's nothing to really relate these two pieces. Like there's a very big disconnect there. But that's me being overly critical of effectively an MS Paint doodle of a more famous MS Paint doodle. I'm gonna actually shade in some of this with black just a little bit. There we go, that looks good. And what am I missing here? Embered? And over here, we need the sun with his shades. Oh, Trogdor needs his majesty lines, so we'll add those in as orange. That's just coming off him like such. There we go. That looks reasonable enough. So that is Trogdor the Burninator. We'll call this one super done. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of highlights onto his beefy arm there. I did what's called bubble shading on the arm, and it looks really, really bad. But maybe I can fix it with just a little bit of work. Bubble shading is way of shading, quote unquote, where you will shade things so that they have the equal darkness on both sides, and it looks really, really bad when you do that. But I'm being a bit of a perfectionist here. Way, way, way too much of a perfectionist. Add in some reflected lighting on the back there. It's too much reflected lighting. Keep it very thin. There we go. That looks decent enough. Alright, that's gonna be Trogdor, the Burninator. That looks actually kind of badass from a distance like that. So this is gonna be called Original Character Don't Steal. And let's see how much money this bad boy fetches. We gotta play the waiting game for not Synth to show up, but like some old dude with a ton of money. Oh, or Maggie. I don't give a shit about Maggie either. Neither of them are gonna be paying me the big bucks. Now, if you had told me that I could make a series out of me literally $3,000, that's the most I've made so far. If you told me that I could make a series out of me basically just farting around in MS Paint, I would be quite surprised. You know what's weird is I keep getting notifications like somebody's going to visit you soon, and then nobody does. Like, supposedly the Hipster Society was going to show up at some point, and then it was like somebody very important is going to swing by, but then they didn't. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what did I... how do I progress in this game? I don't, that's a part that's missing to me right now. I can't talk to anybody. I can paint more, but I don't want to paint more. And I can't interact with that painting. I can go up to my empty painting brick things, go over to the cash register, and it'll tell me, of course, how much cash I have, but I don't see how to progress in this game. Also, what's really, really weird is that the game just got dead silent. So, I don't know. Those are weird little mysteries to me in this game. But we'll try to solve them next time. Thank you for watching.